All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to delay any longer. And yes, this game I do not have the game sounds muted. So very much apologize for that. But ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping into ace match over here. Ace match, get your ace matches in the chat. But we have the red Zerg player down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. The red Zerg that I've already said. I've said red Zerg 3 times. Oh boy, all right. Silicon Esports is NXZ. I almost said Silicon Valley. NXZ, please do forgive me for your terrible intro. Down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the yellow Zerg player. Give it up for Petraeus. And I apparently have the score at 1-13. Awesome. All right, cool, nailed it. Good job with the production, guys. I'm doing great. I also have the music still playing. All right, well, let's see how many things wrong I can get with production-wise in a matter of a couple of minutes. But, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping into an ace match. We have relatively normal openings so far. Nothing super duper crazy. We got a Baneling Nest coming down over here for Petraeus. We got a, well, no Baneling Nest coming down over here for NXZ, at least not just yet. And I did remember to run commercials. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. But Zergling over here for Petraeus. Oh, almost gets a kill. Does force out a spine crawler. Very, very annoying. But it seems like NXZ is trying to forego the entire Baneling Zergling aspect of ZvZ early game. This is going to be really, really awkward if he does get caught off guard. If in fact Petraeus tries to put on the aggression, as Petraeus is pumping out 8 Zerglings right now. We could be seeing more on the way, but no, switch up back to drones instead. So I was gonna say, you know, one of the things that when your opponent tries to take up to roaches a little bit too quickly, you can really punish them, because those roaches do not do super well in super low numbers. Your natural expansion can be very vulnerable, but 8 Zerglings, that's not enough to really put on massive amounts of aggression. In fact, whoa, we got drones retreating on out. NXZ, I guess seeing these 8 Zerglings may have been thinking the same thing that I did, saying, oh, this could be a lot of aggression. We even got a single Baneling over here. The Queens may end up losing their lives. There's not enough energy for the transfuse. This could still work out relatively well for Petraeus, as the Baneling is so indecisive. It's saying, oh, do I want to go for it? No. End up deciding not to, but killing off both queens is still a very, very nice victory. Really delaying those larva injects. 2 queens only just now started up. But of course, in exchange, NXZ gets out all of his roaches safe and sound. And Petraeus does not have any roaches to speak of, nor does he have a spine crawler, any Zerglings out on the map. He's got a couple of Banelings, all good. What good are the Banelings really going to be doing in this situation? He's really going to be relying on, I guess, a queen defense, as well as maybe whatever roaches he can get out eventually. These roaches do take quite a bit of time. This is Ruins of Saros. It's a big map, so he actually is going to have just enough time to get out his roaches. He's going to have barely enough time, and he's going to have enough roaches that he should be able to defend this without too many problems. Roaches move on in, trying to equalize the damage against the queens. The Banelings may end up going down. Don't want to have those Banelings leading the charge, but Petraeus gets out his roaches in time, and hey, says, guess what? I did some free damage, and what are you going to do about it? Well, NXZ is not super happy about that, but there's not a lot he can do about it. He's trying to rally in more and more of these units, but behind this, he does get up his lair tech. He also starts up a round of drones, so tries to play a little bit of catch-up. He's still sitting 2 drones behind, but that should be caught up as 7 drones versus 5 drones being made. I'm not going to try and play-by-play the drone counts, just because those tend to differ quite often, just based on the fact that, you know, one player will make 5 and one player will make 7, so there'll be a short period of time where one player's ahead versus the other. It's sort of silly. Petraeus, though, definitely going to be leading up a little bit in terms of, I would say, army supply. And the nice thing is that you can take this 3rd expansion and potentially try and put on a bit more aggression, but not going to be doing anything of the sort for now. In fact, I would say that this game is more or less evened out. There's a faster +1 missile attacks being taken over here for NXZ. Whatever larva advantage, I think, that Petraeus may have garnered himself with those queens, although I was going to say might be gone relatively shortly, or might be relatively insignificant. It's not so insignificant anymore with the supply block on the Overlord. That really does delay NXZ from making quite a few of his units that he really wants to. 3 more Overlords going to be coming in relatively soon, but these Zerglings not really able to make a whole lot happen. Oh, dancing with death over there against that Baneling. That Baneling transfused. making sure that he has that alive for a little bit longer. He wants that Baneling alive just to stop that potential counterattack. That's a very, very useful Baneling to have alive. But, oh, a couple of the Zerglings move around, trying to get the kill off on the Baneling, and oh, I bet that Petraeus is really happy they transfused that Baneling now, as it does keep him alive for a little bit longer. NXZ, though, gonna be, well, I guess he's not super far ahead in terms of that missile attacks. Petraeus goes for a missile attack that's not that much further behind, but it is going to be a Roach Wars versus Roach Wars, a typical ZvZ. But Petraeus leads up quite a few Roaches, and could maybe start up on that Ravager count if he wants to sometime soon. He did seem to favor going for a few more Ravagers. He might make some as he approaches the outside of NXZ's base, but he also might say, well, I have the Roach advantage right now. I'm not sure if he would be entirely aware of that, since he only kind of has a little bit of vision of his opponent's Roach count. But hey, this is a nice position to be in, where you stop your opponent from moving down that ramp. Although now I would say, actually, this gets really awkward for both of these guys. Petraeus probably getting the better end of this, concave-wise. Neither of these guys really have very fast Roaches, but they are going to be trading 1-for-1 over here. And I think that Petraeus may be having the larger Roach count right now, as it seems like, especially with the Zergling reinforcements, he's going to be able to maybe do a bit more damage. He even goes after some of those drones at the third expansion while he keeps the Roaches of NXZ busy, but both of these players going to have a hard time retreating as NXZ moves on in, going to be killing off a majority of Petraeus' Roaches, and even though the Zerglings did some nice damage, they killed off a couple of workers, and yeah, Petraeus is up 13 workers. That's all well and good, but how does he defend against the counterattack? He's got a decent number of Roaches back at home, and it seems like he may actually be able to defend this. These Roaches are moving quite a bit faster, though. Petraeus, and does Petraeus still not have Roach speed? Yeah, I don't think he has Roach speed. Maybe yellow is just one of those colors that looks slower than red. It's like the fire effect on those race cars where you could paint the fire on a race car and it just seems like it's going faster. Maybe that's just in my head, but I feel like Petraeus doesn't have Roach speed. Hey, take a look. Yeah, he doesn't have Roach speed. Awesome. Fear Dragon, you did good. You did good. A couple of these Zerglings getting a kill, softening up some of these drones and pulling back the Roaches for NXZ, pulling back all of them. So now Petraeus can sit at home nice, safely, and soundly, and he's still leading up a good bit in terms of that Roach count. And I guess the trade-off was the fact that his lair attack is so much later than NXZ's, who went for that earlier Zergling speed, or sorry, not Zergling speed, that Roach speed, but is also getting up that much faster Spire tech. And the Spire tech could cause a lot of problems. We saw how many problems that caused NXZ when Petraeus went for the fast Spire tech and just focus fire down each and every one of the Ravagers, the Queens, whatever anti-air there was. There was nothing that could really defend against the massive Mutilus surprise that Petraeus had. And now it might be a bit of swapping of spots, but this is ace point. This is a merging of phrases. This is ace match, and it's going to be a bit difficult. Petraeus going to try and move in. He does not have Zergling speed finished up just yet, so this is a very, very slow Roach push-in. In fact, he ends up getting completely concaved in this situation. And even if he looks like he may have more Roaches, I still don't know if it's going to be enough, because he has to have enough that's going to be able to deal with the Mutilus also cleaning up his Roaches with infinite amounts of damage from the sky that will not be cleaned up. This is way too close of a Roach fight for Petraeus to be taking right now, and here we go. Mutilus is starting to pop on out, and even though there are 5 or 6 of these Roaches, there are more Roaches that are going to be making their way across the map, but NXZ, he's going to be able to clean this up. He might lose a Queen, he might lose a couple of drones and everything, but these Mutilus are going to be able to repay that damage in tenfold. Hydralisk Den immediately plopped down for Petraeus, but where are the Spore Crawlers? Where are the Ravagers? We finally have a Spore Crawler here and there going up in the main base and the natural expansion. Only 2 of these Spore Crawlers. But NXZ is going to be able to put on that counter aggression, and it's going to be very, very annoying and difficult to try and deal with this. With just pure Queens? Oh, God. Queens also not even in the same location, as one of the Queens immediately gets picked off. Spore Crawler in the natural expansion going to be a little bit annoying, but the Queens once again getting caught a bit out of position. This Queen does not have enough energy anymore for any more transfuses. Another transfuse goes down. Really good transfuses coming down from these Queens. I was going to say, I thought he was out of transfuse energy, but he does manage to salvage a little bit more and continue that Roach aggression, pulling these Mutilus back. Now the Mutilus are still going to get some free pickings off on these Roaches, but the Mutilus count is stopping over here. It's stopping at 10. We're not seeing any more, as NXZ doesn't want to just die to a giant counterattack. He's still sitting lower in terms of the roach count. But, oh, this is where the Mutals have got to try and do a little bit more damage. Oh, 4th expansion finished up over here for Petraeus. And NXZ spotting that out and saying, well, oh, gosh, gee willikers, I don't have my own 4th expansion started up. That is a little bit awkward. NXZ trying to get some damage, whatever damage he can get done. Any damage is good, some good damage with these Mutals. He's got to make them pay for themselves, as Petraeus is still leading up about 30 supply, and halting any of those reinforcements is going to be one really nice way to try and take this game a bit back into his favor. He's going to be able to potentially cancel +2 missile attacks, which is really, really important because he has fallen behind in those upgrades. He's sitting at 1-1, but at the same time, we had +1 Carapace going up, or sorry, +2 missile attacks, so very soon Petraeus would have been very far ahead in those upgrades, at least sitting up 1 upgrade. Oh, Beetle's starting to take some serious damage, some serious wear and tear. They maybe need to try and find another avenue of opportunity, maybe picking up reinforcements or something, but at the same time, Petraeus is moving in. He even has a couple of lurkers in the mix, and these lurkers are going to make a world of difference. There are 0 overseers out on the map. This might be catching NXZ a bit off guard, as it's still nice because the spine crawlers are making it very difficult for Petraeus to actually push in over here, even with the lurkers, but that's only going to last for so long. Lurker starts to get in range and starts to pick away at these spine crawlers. Nice concave in favor of NXZ, but a lot of his roaches are not attacking. Mutals coming in from the back. All of the Mutals get cleaned up, but the lurkers doing their damage in spades. 2 kills on this lurker, 4 kills. GG gets called, and Petraeus taking the game and the series, moving on to the winner semis.